Alright, we good. Now to get all the socials. I should really get back into doing my Let's Play videos. I gotta edit some more too when I get the chance. Got one finished, but I still gotta get so much more. Technically it's 2 finished, but that's neither here nor there, because it's one video that was split into multiple parts. But I'm honestly just rambling at myself at this point, because I don't think anyone is in the chat right now, so you know. It is what it is. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's that, and that's the way the news goes. I don't know why I'm saying it a bunch of different ways. Anyway. More important, let's post this in all the important spots. Is there anything else I want to do really quick? I mean, that obviously needed to be done. And while we're in the neighborhood, let's get the tags in the video. Perfect. Alright. So that's that. Oh, whoopsie. I goofed up a little bit. Copied all the tags in and I deleted the... Whoopsie. Okay. That's on me. It happens. Oh, hey, there is a person in. How are you doing? You know, I'm just setting up the socials, as I do. From time to time. Before I start. Oh, whoopsie. Accidentally backspaced a couple too many times there. Okay, and here I am. Boop, boop. Okay. That's that. That's done. I believe that's everything. So let's... Boop. And there we go. Hey everyone, Draco Magnius here for another episode of Let's Blindly Stream Angels with Scaly Wings. In the last episode, we went with Lorem on his treasure hunt to try and find this mysterious treasure that turned out to be an expired coupon for pizza that he almost died over. I mean, technically in a different timeline he does die over that expired coupon, but he didn't in this timeline. This episode, I think we're just going to make a mad dash to the end of the timeline to see what happens. I mean, like, there's not really much I can do. I'm going to meet with Remy and, like, do his bits that I can do. Yeah, I'm just going to... There. It's pretty idyllic. Okay, so let's just skim through this because we've already seen this scene. I do. We have a lot of time. Okay. It's weird it's not letting me skip this, but okay. I know we've seen this, which is why I'm alright with skipping all of this. It's just sort of weird that it's making me mad dash through Remy's thing here instead of letting me skip it like it does some things. Seriously, why isn't it letting me skip this? This is a very dramatic scene, and I feel like me going, why aren't they trying to skip it? This is, like, taking from it. But again, we have seen this in a different timeline already. And I'm sure we're gonna see it again when we actually dedicate time to Remy. But I gotta look up how to get his good end before we do that. Oh yeah, and I also need to get Anna's good ending, because I've only gotten her bad ending so far. And I'd very much like to save her. Okay. Wow, they're really making me sit through this whole scene, even though we've been through it before. I can't blame her. Well, I guess we'll, like I said, we'll probably sit through the scene again when we come back to it the third time, but right now I'm trying to, you know, make forward progress here, Remy. The plan was to get all the way to the final end and then figure out what we were doing from there. I love living here. We all have our own struggles. Who says you can't? I'd like you as a friend. Wow, they really did make me sit through the whole scene with Remy again. Alright. Chapter 4. Passion. I know this is like, this is our fourth playthrough of the game so far, so it's going to be a lot of skipping around and whatnot, but I feel guilty about doing it. You know, this game is such a good story, and I'm just sort of speeding through it as fast as I can. Because we've seen it all before. Alright. So, info from the facility, results from Anna's test. This is where she was, don't think about it. Little similar genetic makeup, brain structure. Now we move on to here. And skip ahead. Where was the skip ahead a bit ago, huh? Alright, this is them discussing what we just went through. And then I get to choose where I'm heading. Telephone rang. Ah, yes, this scene. Now we have to find the bomb and disarm it. This might be a really short stream of this, honestly. Because again, I'm for lack of a better term, I'm speed running through until we get to the end to see what we get out of this timeline. And honestly, I feel like I could have played this better. I really do need to look up the endings so I can properly pursue them and we can get new story beats again. It's like, we got through all of Lorem's thing, and I don't know if we're going to be meeting up with Lorem again anytime soon. Oh, wait. Well, there we go. Alright, well, eggs to the hatchery. New Dargan. Except this time we're gonna have him take him with us if he wants to come. Kevin. Well, technically he's not new because we've encountered him before, but you know. Alright. Well, I could have used that skip feature this whole time. I just didn't. Sure, I'll invite him. Why don't you come over to my place later? I'd love to hear more about what college is all about in this world. Then you found the right person for the job. I can't promise anything right now, but maybe I'll see you another time. For sure. I also have to finish... fumble. For sure, I also have to finish this up here, but after that I'm free. Alright, I'll let you know. I'm here all day today and tomorrow, so it shouldn't be hard to find me. Great, I have to get going now, but I'll be sure to let you know if anything's up. Sure, see ya. Alright, now we have seen this, so we're just gonna speed through. Oh, wait, what? But we've seen this scene before. It's not gonna let me skip through it? That's weird. Alright, well that takes care of that. We now have Kevin as people we could see. So what did I want to do next? We could do the bandage. Oh right, I have that bandage. Take it to the facility. Hope this is the right place. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm just dropping this evidence off on behalf of the police. From the Reza case, right? I already read the memo. Yep, well, here you go. Thanks. I'll get right to it. Well, that was quick and easy. Thanks for all your help. Now that the facility's received the bandage, maybe we'll be able to discover something new. I'll take care of the remaining tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See ya. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some respite. I wandered into the kitchen to consider tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? As I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me and collapsed to the floor. KO! The next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face, who may either be me or a different person entirely. I apologize for the violence, but I can assure you it was the easiest way. Since I don't know which one it is, I guess I'll just go with my default voice. Actually, looks like you've seen this before. Skip the character selection? Yes. Alright, so now Kevin should be as selectable, yes? Seems there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Seems I got some messages. Let's see. Hey, it's me. Do you want to meet up again? I know you're busy, but the summer festival is coming up soon. I'm not saying we should go, but we certainly could if you want to. In any case, call me back when you hear this. Yeah, sure, let's meet with Lorem first, and then the second one will be Kevin. Lorem gets preferential treatment since, you know. Oh, wait a minute. Did I screw myself out of the Kevin convo? Oh, well. There's always next time around, I guess. Hey! Hey, Lorem. So this is where you live. You already got a glimpse of it when you delivered Reza's letter, remember? Yeah, but back then I didn't really notice anything. I was nervous. Why were you nervous? Well, there was the fact I was going to speak to a human, plus I didn't know if you'd actually listen to what I had to say. And I also wondered if I was going to remember everything I wanted to tell you, or worse, if I'd get thrown out again, just like when I talked to Reza. You actually talked to Reza? Well, not really. He just took the letter I had for him and closed the door. But that was before you arrived here. Do you know who sent the letter? It came through the portal, so I assume it was from a human. I see. By the way, did you hear about Ipsum? Apparently he's becoming a witness for a murder case. Oh, I heard about that. Didn't know the witness was Ipsum, though. Small world. How could you know something like that? I've been helping your police for some time now. Really? Oh, does that mean this has something to do with Race's disappearance? There's really no use denying it at this point. So how long have you been helping the police, anyway? Since the day of my arrival, really. Oh wow, I guess that explains why you've been so busy. I imagine you can't talk about it, though. I don't really care anymore. Fuck legal precinct. Besides, I think it's become common knowledge by this point. Trying to find Reza, right? Wasn't he your friend? Not sure I'd call him that. Still, he was supposed to be a partner in this, and now he's just gone. I'm more worried about what he's doing now. Even if we find him, this may put our diplomatic relationship in peril. I guess I shouldn't talk about stuff like that. Why not? It's no use worrying about things I can't change. Right, just focus on the things you can. That's my philosophy. You know, it's a bit of a shame you didn't want to go to the festival. I already had my fair share of adventure the last time we met. Besides, I should probably lay low for now. You're right, the crowds would probably go crazy if they saw you. We still watch the big fireworks show together, though. We wouldn't need to go to the festival grounds to do that. Sure, if you like. It only takes place at the end of the festival, though. When's that? A few days from now. You've been here a few minutes, and I already already want to schedule our next get-together? Get-together, that's an odd way of phrasing it. Would you prefer if I called it a date? I don't know. It just seems a bit odd to me, considering this all started with me begging you to meet me so I could draw pictures of you. We did that, and then we went treasure hunting, which was your way of saying thanks. Yes, that's quite the recap. What would you call what we're doing here right now, then? Dinner. I invited you for dinner. Not seeing anything to eat here, though. Right, that's because I wasn't sure about what's in the kitchen. I also don't know what you like, so let's just order something. There are a few places nearby. Do you have anything in mind? I'm not really in the mood to try something new. Sure, how about pizza? Sounds good. Alright, I'll call Bentoli's then. Ah yes, the place that almost got you killed. Good times. Good times. You already let us down with the treasure hunt. Why do you think this'll be any different? They're the closest, and I haven't ordered from them in ages. Maybe for good reason. They can't even get the treasure hunt right. I don't want to know what they do to their pizzas. It's just pizza, Draco. How bad could it be? Alright, if you want to vouch for Bentoli's, go ahead. Actually, I think I've got one of their menus here. Yep, here it is. Let's see, even their smallest pizza is going to be pretty big for me. We could share one. Sure, what toppings do you like? I think I'll go with salad. Salad pizza? Seriously? Salad on a pizza? Don't knock it before you try it. Look, Lorem, I don't like salad as a rule, but that's me personally. I mean, I could get in the story as to why I don't like salad. I've never actually had salad, air quotes, but according to my mom when she was pregnant with me, her pregnancy craving was for salad. So I believe that I've grown such a disdain for it in the womb that when I was born up to this point, it disgusts me, salad. On a visual, sensory level. Sight, smell, it's all awful. I hate how it looks, I hate how it smells, I don't like salad. So yeah, little bit of Draco Magnius trivia for you there. Aren't you going to tell me you eat pizza with a knife and fork? Not really. Alright, what would you like on your half? Why is grapes an option? Okay, I mean, we established salad is an option, which is crazy to me, but whatever. But why is grapes an option? Who the fuck puts grapes on pizza? I mean, I've heard of fucking pineapple on pizza, which is another bizarre thing, but at least that has some sort of sense to it. Pineapple on pizza, it's part of Hawaiian pizza, or you could just have pineapple on your pizza if you tickles your fancy, but who the hell would put grapes on a pizza? It's like if you cut it, it's just, it doesn't seem like it would function very well on a pizza. Maybe I'm just being bizarre. Pepperoni, please. The actual pizza topping. Got it. I'll just place the order then. Go ahead. I'll get it. Lorem got up and walked to the door. From my place on the couch, I couldn't see anything, but I heard a bit of talking before he returned to me carrying the square box. The flyer who just delivered this, I actually know her. Guess it's not unusual for you to know each other. Your jobs are pretty similar. I suppose. Some things never change in this town. Lorem opened the box and showed me the pizza we had ordered. Memories of days gone by raced through my head. Alright, let's get this party started. Do we need more people for a party? With pizza, anything's a party. I feel like I haven't had pizza like this in ages. What are you waiting for then? I took one of the slices. On its surface, there was an obvious layer of grease that was sure to stain anything it came in contact with. What do you think? It's been way too long. Guess you don't mind that we got Pantolis now, huh? With these words, he grabbed one of the slices on his half and bit into it. After chewing a few times, his expression suddenly twisted into a scowl. Something wrong? Now I remember why I haven't ordered from Pantolis in a while. Their pizza sucks. It's not that bad. Maybe you just haven't had good pizza to compare it to. I mean, possible. If we recall, we're from a post-apocalyptic hellscape. Pizza probably isn't the biggest dish in that sort of world, huh? Hey, it's still better than nothing. I suppose. By the way, how's your game coming along? I don't know. I feel like I hit a wall. Oh, dude, that sucks. When you hit writer's block or really any sort of creative block, it's just awful. Why's that? Maybe I got in over my head, you know? The more progress I make, the more it becomes apparent that I need a lot more help than I thought. So far, you're the only one working on this, right? Yep, but I'm starting to realize that won't work out if I continue like this. Why not? It would never be done. Or if it was, it'd be very different from what I'd like it to be. So something needs to change. I get you. I mean, there have been instances of single game developers or small teams, but that's still a team, and it's very difficult to be a one-man game development team. Because you have to do everything. And that's a lot of hats you gotta wear and a lot of workloads you gotta sift through. I suppose I'm just worried because once you start involving other people, things get a lot more complicated. That's also fair. Getting a bunch of people together is hard. And getting them to agree on things is equally hard. How so? I've always been the odd one out, so I'm not sure how well I could work with a team. You have to find people, work out how to pay them, and how to divide the work. I guess I'm just starting to realize what kind of investment this would actually be. Sounded a lot more optimistic the last time we talked about this. Yeah, it's all fun and games when you're just thinking about ideas you could turn into a game. But once you actually start working on it, it's completely different. It's a completely different story. Again, Lorem, stop relating to me so much. It's weird. I've had so many ideas that I've just abandoned because I haven't had the means or the resources to do anything with them. I was gonna write a vampire novel once. Probably still have it lying around somewhere. But I just stopped and never looked back at it. Then there's ideas for, like, when I was a teen, I would film with my friends. Like, I had this camera, and I had ideas and concepts with them for movies, but some of them just never got done, or we didn't finish them off, or maybe we just make random videos. The 90s were wild. Well, 90s, early 2000s. But it sucks when that happens. When you're excited about a project that you want to do, and like you realize either you need more people to join you on this project, or you don't have all the skills you need, and you just sort of leave it at the wayside. Because there's other stuff you gotta do. You have school, or work, or other things that just get in the way and doesn't seem viable. It's all a balancing act, really. If there's any advice I could give anybody watching this, it's all a balancing act, life. You gotta figure out what you value the most, what deserves your time the most, and what things can be thrown to the wayside. And eventually you'll find at the end that there's something worthwhile. Or you'll just have to keep looking. But anyway, at some point, it just becomes another job. Yeah, Lorem, that's kind of the point. Isn't that what you expected? Of course it is. I knew it'd be a lot of work, but I guess I'm just not sure if it's all worth it. That depends on why you're making it in the first place. Last time you said that you had nothing to lose either way. Well, maybe I was wrong about that. I do have something to lose. Time. What's that? Myself. Oh, dude, that's even more philosophical and existential, really. You could lose yourself at the end of the day. You could drive yourself up a wall with stress, with work. Or you could change the ideals that you have. Damn, dude. Shit. Here I was just thinking about time, in the long run. You could waste time, but it's not wasted if you're having fun. But if you're not having fun, and there's no benefit from it, then that's when you're wasting time. But damn. Look at us, Lorem, you and me both being existential sad sacks. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do what's necessary to finish what I started. If you think about it, what's the worst that could happen? Investing a lot of time and money only to end up with nothing in the end. I know exactly how you feel, Lorem. I tried to get into game design myself, honestly, but after failing game design 2 twice, I realized maybe this wasn't working out for me. And then I was in debt for a while, because I took out loans to pay for my courses, and that really fucked me over. But when my grandmother passed, I used my inheritance from her to pay off a bulk of it, and, like, relatively recently, I managed to break free of my student loan debt that I got nothing from. So I really know what Lorem's feeling right here. And I know it's silly, but I've always felt guilty about spending my grandmother's inheritance for me on my loans. Like, I could have put that money away to save for my future, or maybe even used a little fraction of it to have fun, buy something that I would have enjoyed, but instead I just dumped it all into a student loan. And I know my grandmother would understand, but I don't know, I always felt bad about it. I mean, it's irrational maybe, but that's just how I felt. And I'm really opening up a lot in this fucking episode. Lorem, what are you doing to me? I could end up disappointing those who play the game, those who collaborated with me, and lastly, myself. That's what you're worried about? That's what being a creator is like. If you put tons of work and effort into something, you want people to like it, right? If that's not what's going to happen, why do it in the first place? Seriously, Lorem, the fuck are you doing? Looking into my subconscious? Stop it. It's creeping me out. But you're not doing this for other people, are you? It's your game and your idea, after all. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you want people to enjoy it, because if you're putting it out there for others, you want others to have a good time with your product. I mean, maybe it's weird to call it your product. Maybe it'd be better to call it your vision. If you're putting something out there, online, or to sell, you want others to enjoy it. Because why put it out if they're not going to enjoy it? Like, I do Let's Plays and streams because I have a good time doing it. Even if there's nobody in the audience watching when I stream, at the moment that I'm watching, I'm still enjoying it at the end of the day. And if people show up and enjoy it, fantastic. Because that's why I put it online. For anyone who might get a kick out of watching some random dude on the internet play video games. I mean, I know I get a kick out of watching Let's Plays and streams and such. So there's a market for it, and I enjoy it. That's why I've been doing it all this time. Even if at the end of the day I gain nothing from it aside from enjoyment. I'm happy. But anyway, right, but I'm not trying to cater to someone else, so what other people think's not important. That's also true. It's important that people enjoy your vision, your product, whatever you want to call it. But fuck the haters. Fuck the people that have negative things to say. Unless it's constructive criticism. If it's constructive criticism that you can use to improve your future visions, products, whatever, fantastic. But if it's just somebody shitting all over you, fuck them people. Their opinion doesn't matter. Besides, what they think is outside of your control anyway. Just look at what happened with Pantoli's. Why do you think their pizza sucks? They probably cut a lot of corners during the production and with the ingredients. They value quantity over quality, and are only trying to get as many pizzas out as possible to satisfy demand. They are cheap and the pizza tastes like it. Okay, but they're still in business. So this must be working out for them somehow. Even if you don't like it, they're offering something other people clearly want. You know, some people just want a cheap za to fill their stomach. Some people don't care about quality. But there are those who truly care about the quality of the products they ingest, consume, what have you. And those are the special people. Probably don't give a damn about whether or not you like their pizza. I'm sure they don't. They just give people what they want, and that's why they stay in business. Are you saying I won't be successful if I don't cater to others? No, I'm saying that unless being successful is the goal, you don't need to cater to anyone else. Because if you did, you'd end up like Pantoli's, and you really would lose yourself. I guess you have a point. Don't be Pantoli's, people. Be you. So what if other people like their greasy pizzas? That's not what you... fumble. That's not what you want to do. Certainly not. You said it yourself, that your philosophy is to focus on the things you can change. So what are your options here? A wise person once said, do or do not. There is no try. Oh, God, why did you have to... I've always hated that quote. The do or do not, there is no try. Because here's the thing about do or do not, there is no try. It says that with a positive mental attitude, you can do anything. Except that's not the case. I refer you back to my game design days. I believed with all my heart at the beginning that I was going to succeed in game design. But then, after the weeks became months, and the months became about a year, I realized this wasn't going to work out. So even though at the beginning in my heart of hearts, I totally believed that I had a positive mental attitude, I failed. I was going to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be a vet ever since I was a child. Like around, I think it was 8, I decided I was going to be a veterinarian. That or a rock star. But the rock star thing never panned out. And unfortunately, with veterinarian, I realized that a veterinarian has to memorize a lot of different things. If you specialize in, say, like household animals like cats, dogs, rodents, you have to memorize the anatomy of all those animals. Like, a regular doctor has to memorize human anatomy. All the bones in the body, all the organ systems, the names, how they interact, the chemicals, how they interact with the human body. A veterinarian has to do all that for every single animal they specialize in. And my memory is kind of shit. So I didn't see that happening. I believed from 8 onward up to, I want to say when I hit 20, that I was going to be a veterinarian. I believed it in my heart of hearts. But then I failed. You can believe with all of your being that something will happen, but sometimes it doesn't. An example in the Star Wars universe. A Padawan can believe all he wants he's gonna beat Darth Sidious. But when he goes to fight the fucking Sith Lord Emperor, he gonna die. My point isn't that even if you have a positive mental attitude, you'll fail. It's that a positive mental attitude can only carry you so far. You have to put the time, dedication, the work in it. There is try. You have to try. You have to be willing to try and maybe risk failure. Going in blindly on the hope that you're gonna do it, that you believe in your heart of hearts on blind faith that you'll do something, is a good way to disappoint yourself if you don't manage to do it. If you do manage to do the thing you're going to try and do, fantastic! It worked out in the end. And a lot of the times with a positive mental attitude, it does work out. But there are also those cases where you believe that you're going to do something, and you fail. And that's okay. Because you just have to try again. So long as you're alive, and you have the resources to try again, always try. Moral of the story, always try. None of this do or do not shit. There's try. And that was my TED Talk. Let's get back to the game. Going along a divergence this episode, I see. Or tangents, that's the word I'm thinking. Not doing this has never been an option for me. Then you make the most of it and nothing else matters. I think you're right. I should just focus on getting things done as best I can. Hell yeah, man. You try your best. Who knows? Maybe you're wrong about Pantoli's. Maybe they're actually a big family restaurant with a rich tradition and history, and that's why people like them. No, I think it's just because they have cheap pizzas. Anyways, there's a good reason for my anxiety. I usually keep to myself, and that's how I work best. Whoops. Accidentally tapped on the mouse wheel there. If there's one thing that life has taught me, it's that people fear what they don't know. True. The oldest fear of all mankind, or in this case dragonkind, is fear of the unknown. And that's just a survival thing, really. Back when humanity, or again dragonkind in this instance, were young, we needed to be careful of everything around us. Predators were around every corner. Prey was around every corner. And humanity needed to sit and wait and study and make sure that they could take a thing before they tried to any attempts to take it on. or to hide from the things they didn't quite understand. And unfortunately, this fear of the unknown has caused a lot of harm to our race as well. It's the foundation of racism, fearing that which you don't understand. And there's two ways to conquer fear of the unknown. You either A, study that thing, learn from it, embrace it, or you hide yourself under a rock and make sure that nothing can get under your rock. One is healthier than the other. Anyway, I guess that's an odd thing to say when humans are worshipped by many. Most of them don't actually know any humans. Not like I know you. Maybe I should rephrase that? People are afraid of what they don't understand. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid. You know, it can be pretty tough when you're growing up and all the other kids are always bigger than you. Luckily, that was never a big problem for me. Even in kindergarten, we get told not to make fun of our differences because of how different our species are. It's just odd that for a society that celebrates our differences, there's still things that are too different even for them. When I grew up and went to college, I thought that people would know better than to continue doing those horrible things, but I was ultimately proven wrong. Their bodies may have been those of adults, but their hearts had stayed in the same place they were decades before. Working on my own has helped, but that is treating the symptom, not the cause of the problem. I can't always run away, and I'll have to step into the limelight and brave the storm again if I want to finish this game. There's something about me that you don't know. In a way, I owe it to you to tell you, because you're gonna find out sooner or later. You're gonna find out sooner or later anyway. When it happens, it should be on my terms, rather than someone else's. What is it? I'm a hermaphrodite. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I was born with both sets of sex organs. And before you ask, that's not something that's common in any of our dragon species. So you're like Kanye. Except you curse significantly less. Also, I don't think you're the fuck out of people. Or shadow people. But you know, the jury's still out on the second one. I don't know how many shadow people are running around in Angels with Scaly Wings. But I'm sort of digressing from your point here. I'm sorry, Lorem. In the eyes of some, that makes me a freak of nature. Something that needs fixing. I shouldn't exist in the first place. Fuck those people! You are who you are, Lorem. And there's nothing they can do to change that. Embrace yourself. What the fuck? Why is Get Out an option? Who the fuck is the asshole that picks Get Out? I don't mind. I wish there was another option that says, hey, we cool, or you are who you are. Embrace it. But I guess I'll put I don't mind, because it's like the best option. You don't? Sure. Some people may think that it's odd, but I don't really care. Just another part of who you are. Exactly. Thank you. That's such a big relief. You know, it's not always the bullies who go after me once they know. Too often it's people who I thought were my friends. Oh, that sucks, dude. People you thought were your friends and then they just sort of turn on you? That's gross. So, whenever I meet another person, I have to prepare myself for this conversation. Not knowing whether they'll suddenly turn against me when they find out. And the reactions can be very different. Some get angry and make fun of me. Who the fuck would get mad at that? Hey, by the way, I have 2 sets of sex organs. Who the fuck do you think you are for being born a certain way? How dare? Like, what kind of fucking asshole? Anyway. Others feel betrayed and don't want to have anything to do with me anymore? I gotta move on. I can't be fucking pissed off at imaginary people that I don't even know. By now I think I've seen it all. I'm so glad that you're not like them, but it's always been a gamble. Maybe the next person I tell is gonna become violent. Jeez. How can I put myself out there when this could happen wherever I go, you know? You know what I mean? What will people do when they find out about me and my game? I just don't know. That's what I'm worried about. I only wish there was a place I could be safe from all that. Where it wouldn't matter that this is who I am. Someone like you, someone with a place of authority said something. Maybe that could change things. I know you can't interfere with our politics, though. You're an ambassador. Doesn't mean I don't have hope that something like that will happen one day. I should probably go now. It's getting late. Made me feel a lot better, though. Told me not to worry about the future. And maybe you're right. Sure, there's a lot of work ahead, but maybe it's not as hopeless as I thought. It never is. Hey, do you still want to see the fireworks show together? Sure. Alright, just give me a call in a few days so we can discuss the details. I'll do that. Alright. See you then. See ya. Oh, that was heavy. Another free day. Yay me. Now let's meet with Kevin, the guy we just sort of met. That must be him. Hello. Good to see you again. This is the place you live, huh? For the time being. That's pretty nice for a small town like this one. Oh god, I gotta sneeze. Never mind! False alarm! I hate those. When you got like a tickle in your nose and you think you're gonna sneeze and it just doesn't happen. Anyway, are you not from around here? No, I'm just here for the job until the next semester starts. Basically, I'm trying to draw interest in the college and see if there's anyone around who'd like to apply for it. How's that working out? Well, I haven't actually met that many candidates out here so far. For a town like this one, it's typical for the young people to go through an apprenticeship to prepare for their future job rather than go to college. But if there's anyone willing, we want to try and find them. Even out here? Yeah, there's always a need for more highly educated people in the cities as they expand. Cities? This is the first I've heard of cities in this world. I thought this town was where it's at. Then you've really been missing out. This town isn't really all that special when it comes down to it. I've lived in the city for most of my life. Of course, that's also where the college is. I don't think they'd build one out here anyway. I'd think as an ambassador they'd show me around a bit, but apparently that isn't the case. Your visit is a bit of a political issue right now. The bottom line is that it's also for your own protection. Everything surrounding the portal has been a well-kept secret. People know that it exists, and that we currently have human visitors, but the exact location is only known to those who live here. I see. People might do something crazy if they knew a human was walking around very close by. I mean, the people in a small town seem to be doing fine, but you never know how people in a city would react. There's a lot of different people, which means there's a lot of different mindsets and political values. And/or desires. Who knows what crazy people would live out in the city? Or normal people. I don't want you thinking that I think that people in a city are crazy. Just that due to the increased population, the chance of crazy people being there is higher. If it ever got out, I don't think this town could face the ensuing torrent of tourists trying to catch a glimpse of you. Also that. travel's been restricted as well. There are strict conditions for people who want to come out here. The only reason I was allowed is because this isn't the first time I'm doing this job. The people here already know me. Heck, I didn't even know this was the town in question until I arrived and heard everyone talking about you. Well, I'm glad they're taking this matter seriously. They certainly are. I'd like to know more about these cities you talked about, though. Well, I can only speak about the one I live in, but what do you want to know? I only really have this town as a point of reference, so why don't you tell me about what the difference is? Or what's the difference? Gee, that's only pretty much everything. Yeah, just tell me everything. That's fine. Take your time. We've got probably all day. Out here, living in general seems to be a lot cheaper than it is in the city. And there's much more room for everything. God, that sounds nice. Being able to afford to live somewhere. God, I can't imagine. I'm an American. There are green spaces, fields, parks, and farms. Don't really see that in the city. I mean, duh. People here are more laid back, and there's a bigger sense of community, as everyone knows everyone, which can be both good and bad. For example, rumors travel fast and survive well in areas like this one. In the city, you can just make new friends when that happens. Excuse me. But out here, a few well-placed stories could mean social death. Excuse me. I don't know if the microphone picked up those burps, but dang. In the city, it's also much more crowded. Buildings pretty much line the streets, and there isn't much room for anything else. But with the clubbing scene and the opportunities for socializing, there's no shortage of potential friends. So the cities are an extrovert paradise. But the small towns like this are introverted paradise. Interesting. Fascinating. There are also many different jobs and education opportunities that you wouldn't find out here. Like what? Creative jobs of all kinds, for example. Game designers, writers, artists, that kind of stuff. Same goes for teaching positions in those areas as well. For example, if I wanted to learn how to write a romance novel, I can find a course for that easily. Out here, this would be a lot more difficult, you know what I mean? I guess you'd have to do your own personal research in that instance, if you lived out in a smaller town. Yes, absolutely. In a way, it feels like you're always busy when you live in the city. The streets are usually filled with people trying to get somewhere. Of course, this is also a side effect in small apartments, as people tend to go out more often and seek entertainment elsewhere. Which do you prefer? In the end, I suppose I prefer the city. That's not to say that I don't think one is better than the other. Different strokes for different folks and all that. Of course, of course. Out here, people would probably laugh at some of the things I do in my free time. But in the city, you get enough like-minded people and even conventions going about all kinds of things. What conventions do you go to? I like all kinds of geeky things. Cartoons, comics, all that stuff. I've even written a few fanfics before, too, since I can't really draw all that well. Wow. Conventions. That sounds so nice. In 2021, where we've been in lockdown for a year, and all the conventions were canceled, and we can't do stuff like that. I'm an introvert, but I liked going to Anime Next in AC. It was close by, and I could get manga, and I could get different gaming supplies there, and watch panels about new and interesting animes, and maybe meet new people, and it was great. But can't do that now. And I also have business cards for my voice acting. I was gonna hand those out at Anime Next in 2020, but COVID sort of killed that opportunity. Not that I'm bitter, I'm just incredibly disappointed. Anyway, moving on. What is with this episode and opening up today? Like, what the fuck? Aren't cartoons usually for... What the fuck are you talking about? Have you not... I mean, I guess this is post-apocalypse person, but for fuck's sake, man! Adult cartoons are a thing! And anime. That's like saying books are usually just for kids. Cartoons are just a medium. Of course, there are some that are aimed at kids, but there are cartoons for adults as well. Yeah, Kevin knows where it's at. Cartoons for adults. I see. Not like that. Well, I mean, there are cartoons like that, but that wasn't what I was talking about. Oh, I see. I get where my game avatar was going. He was thinking about porn. If you well, that's not subtle. That was what it was, porn. In any case, what else falls under geeky interests for you? Let's see. I guess you could say I'm kind of a techie. I do like following news about technology and hearing about all new developments in the industry. You must be pretty interested in the portal then. Oh right, I didn't even consider that I could actually go there and check it out. If I knew where it was, that is. I could show you. If you did that, you'd be the coolest human I ever met. I mean, it's a small contest considering there's 2 of them and you probably never met the other one. I suppose you'd be that by default, since you'd also be the only human I ever met, but you get the idea. Let's just go. I'll be right behind you. Oh shit, we're actually doing this? This isn't gonna break any rules? Fuck, okay, here we go. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. I really hope the microphone didn't pick that up. There it is in all its glory. That looks so much cooler than I thought it would. Hope, state your business. I just wanted to show the portal to my new friend here. Well, friend, you can look, but don't touch anything, and no photos either. But I was gonna take a picture of him touching it. Oh, it's fine. I'm just kidding. Do I look like I have a camera? Well, you could be hiding something in your fur. Are you going to give me a pat down? I don't think so. What's that, though? Flyers for our Midwest institution. I could give you one if you're interested in going back to school. No, thank you. I'm quite happy with my current job, which is... Sorry. That sucked. I sort of inhaled, and I think there was a hiccup there, too. And, no, thank you. I'm quite happy with my current job, which is protecting the portal from any unsavory individuals. What's up with you, Sebastian? Just doing my job, Draco. You could be a spy. Ah, yes. Really? There's been a lot of interest in the portal from the cities. They've made us offers, but for now, we're not doing anything until we see how your visit turns out. In the end, it's just a political power struggle. Small towns like us have to protect our interests. Fair. Fair and valid. And in the process, reinforce the stereotypes of country bumpkins being conspiracy nuts. You know I could arrest you, right? Respect is a two-way street. Just saying. Shit, the fuck did I walk into? Trust is good, but control is better. It's just a matter of perspective. Sebastian, I thought you were cool, man. Fuck. Well, I think I've seen enough here anyway. Let's head back, Draco. Sure. Fuck was that? You're not gonna leak anything, are you? Of course not. Now that I think about it, I totally could, though. Oh, really? I have some connections and potential audience. Now you're starting to sound like Sebastian had a point. Not really, I just know a few people from writing a column in our college magazine. It got popular enough that it was even featured in the local newspaper for a while. Interesting. What did you write about? Nothing special, really. It was just commentary about current events. I see, I guess you were pretty involved in your local community then. Not more than anybody else, I think. What's it like to actually live on campus? College in general is a pretty unique period of life, I'd say. Something I've noticed is that some people are not prepared for the independence they have when living on campus. You're given a chaotic schedule where you have nothing to do on some days, whereas others you're kept busy with classes, homework, and other things that you have to do. With study buddies, roommates, and classmates, it's not really hard to make new friends. You also get to meet a lot of people who share similar interests from taking the same classes or being in the same clubs. And don't forget about the dorms. So all these people are always within reach, which can also be good and bad. You can be tempted to hang out with friends when you should really be studying. For many people, it becomes the first taste of real freedom and independence. Some just handle it better than others, I suppose. That can be a problem with team projects, for example. There's always somebody who ends up never showing up and not doing any part of the work. Oh, that asshole. Those people suck. For me, it's not really a problem since I actually enjoy what I'm doing here. I don't mind the homework, and sometimes I read up on subjects in advance so I don't get left behind. I've even corrected the professor once or twice during a lecture, and I'm sure they loved that. Professors and any teacher love it when a student corrects them on something. It's fantastic, and it really makes them look smart in front of the rest of the class. I think that'd be wouldn't be a good idea with certain kinds of professors. Well, with ours, I was even allowed the privilege of giving a guest lecture for my own class once. Really? Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was talking about. Come on, learning should be fun! It certainly is for me. Boy, what a concept. Learning, fun. Anyway. I suppose being able to have that kind of attitude makes it a lot easier. It certainly does. Whoops. Let's see if it keeps up once you have a few more semesters under your non-existent belt. Don't be so negative. And for your information, I do have a belt at home. Ooh, fancy, la-di-da. Besides, it's not as if I'm some sort of antisocial hermit who only focuses on his studies. I just know when to say no to my friends. Yes. Right. Not an antisocial hermit. Could you imagine? Oh, really? Yes, we usually get together on the weekends and do some cooking together. People can only stand so much frozen food before they get sick of it, and eating out in the city can add up pretty quickly if you're not careful. The hell are you talking about? College students only eat ramen and frozen food. This is just a fact of life, because college is too damn expensive to do anything else. Or at least it is in America. And I mean, I guess if you had the ingredients and the food, you could cook for yourself. I mean, I'll be honest with all of you. Me, I'm just fucking lazy. I can cook. If you give me a recipe, I can follow instructions just fine and get food out. But ordering out and frozen food and making like a cup of ramen or something is just significantly easier. And hey, I know that about myself. I know that is one of my flaws. I'm fucking lazy when it comes to food, so I'm not gonna put in the extra effort to make anything for myself. Unless I have to. In which case I will. But there'd have to be some reason that I couldn't just fucking make a cup of ramen or order out. I see. We rotate the cook every week, but apparently people are looking forward when it's my turn. I've got a lot of compliments for my homemade mac and cheese. Oh, I see. It's not like you're cooking a 3-course meal here. It's you're just making fucking mac and cheese. Now you're making me hungry. I bet they all miss it, but they'll get a taste. They'll get to taste it once again once summer vacation is over in a month or so. And in the meantime, you're just out here handing out flyers? Yep, it's good to help our college, and I can also save up a bit in the process. It's certainly easier than trying to juggle a job and homework at the same time later on if things get tight. What were you studying again? Psychology. And how does that make you feel? I see. Alright, go ahead and analyze me right now. It doesn't really work like that. What? You can't just identify a person's mental illnesses and / or mental stability, personality, and traits just by looking at them if you're a psychologist? Wow. Why even practice psychology if you can't just do that on a look? I took a class in community college about psychology. I forget exactly what the name of the course was, but I do remember it was like all sorts of mental illnesses and such. Or I should say personality disorders and the like. It's been a long time since then. I know, you just passed the test. Oh, I know what you're getting at. Maybe I'll steal that test from you, though. Might be worth trying it out on a few people I know. Be my guest. On a more serious note, tell me something about what you're learning. What? Anything? I just want to get an idea of the subject, and whether it's comparable to our own understanding of psychology. I see. Well, I could tell you about an old and very simplified model of our psyche that we got taught in introductory classes. Sounds good. Okay, so this model divides our psychic apparatus into 3 distinct parts, called the id, the ego, and the superego. Alright, so far it's basic psychology, yes. The id represents our most basic desires, and the instinctual drives. That is, our physical needs and wants, like hunger, thirst, as well as desires and impulses. Yes, other thirst. What's the difference? An impulse is more like wanting to lash out in anger. For example, the id seeks out immediate gratification for these urges. It is in conflict with the superego, which represents learned behavior, like cultural and moral rules, and societal standards, the kind of stuff we learn from our role models like parents, teachers, or guardians. The superego is the part that forms our conscious and controls our sense of right and wrong. It seeks to uphold these standards to perfection, which most of the time goes against what the id wants at any given moment. Sound like you had to rote? What's rote learn? You sound like you had to rote learn a lot of this. If those internalized rules are broken, this misbehavior is punished by the superego with feelings of guilt and shame. This way, we are compelled to behave in accordance to these rules, even if the id tempts us to do otherwise. And in between these conflicting parts of us, there's the ego, who tries to mediate. It represents our rational mind that seeks to please the id's drives in ways it doesn't harm us or goes against the superego's goals. However, it also serves another master, the external world. The ego includes all our decision-making and how we respond to external stimuli. Ultimately, it's the one calling the shots while trying to balance the needs of the id and the superego in the external world. And there you have it, an outdated, simplified model of our psyche. It still serves as a good introduction, though. Thank you. Actually, I think I may have heard about something like this before. Why did you go with psychology in particular? I'm just interested in how people work, I suppose. It's also an incredibly diverse subject, and so are the potential jobs. Just being able to understand people is such a huge factor in many fields, and the skills you learn could come in handy in all areas of life, really. When people hear about psychology, most usually think of psychologists or psychotherapists, but there can also be counselors for communities and organizations and researchers or teachers. That's fair. You also often see them teaming up with other professionals to influence every part of society. Just think about hospitals, courtrooms, prisons, even schools and universities. They can also become coaches for high-performance jobs, where they work with CEOs, athletes, performers of all kinds. Every institution and every business that works with people can profit from the presence of someone who has studied psychology. Huh, never thought about it that way. That's why you'll also find this kind of knowledge to be incredibly helpful, even when you're a manager or in sales, because those jobs require empathy and understanding of your client's needs. Understanding people is just something that can come in handy pretty much wherever you go. That's what psychology is all about. Even in video games, psychology is a factor. Horror games are an obvious example, but also with tutorials or UI design, and how people interact with your game. Psychology and player expectations are always going to be a factor. I think I get the idea. Out here, I think a lot could still be done to improve the image of the field, you know? What do you mean? There's a bit of a stigma to admitting that you need help, especially when you're doing physically fine. For them, it's a sign of weakness, so in order to preserve their image, they hide everything away. But locking away those feelings doesn't solve the problem. If anything, it only makes it worse. Is that something you'd like to work with? Me, honestly, I don't know if I could tackle a big issue like that. It's good for me that psychology is such a diverse field, because I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it yet, or what particular job I'd like to have after I'm done with all my studies. I see. I think you have plenty of time to figure that out. Yep, before I came here for my summer job, I was interviewing at a psychotherapist's office for a month. I got to hear about some very interesting and also tragic cases. I thought I wanted to help people with issues like that, but sometimes it's pretty hard not to be affected too much by those stories, so I'm not sure if that's the right job for me. But you already like working with people, right? I don't know. Maybe interning there was a little too close to the sun for me. If you didn't, why would you be the one handing out the flyers? Just like you mentioned earlier, psychology comes in handy with sales and similar jobs where you have to interact with people. Handing out flyers is pretty similar to that, don't you think? I guess. Seem to be doing well enough with that. You're helping bring out your college and You're helping to bring your college and people together. And in this way, you're helping both. And it's been a lot of fun, too. After I got to meet you and even get a glimpse of the portal... who knows? Maybe one of these people you handed a flyer to will one day turn out to be famous for their work. No, I think that's a little too idealistic, but I get your point. It doesn't always have to be about big problems. Little problems need solving, too. Like what you're eating on the weekend. Yeah. What about you, though? What do you mean? Well, I don't want to pry, but we've been talking all this time, and you know a lot more about me than I do about you. Maybe you can't say anything about where you grew up, or what you study because it's top secret or whatever, but I'd be lying if I say I wasn't curious. Well, I don't like talking about myself all that much, and I think there are some things that are better left unsaid. I just realized I had to chat covered up this whole time by the game. Whoops! Awkward. Anyway. I see. But if you're curious, I guess it's only fair I share a few things as well. You know, it's been fun talking about college. I already got my degrees a while ago. I was interested in going hunting for jobs with my unusual combination of degrees, but I thought that would open a few doors. But before I got anywhere, our world underwent a few changes that made a lot of jobs obsolete. It's been a rough time since then. Turns out those degrees came in handy after all, because in the end, they enabled me to come here. If I considered all the good and bad that's happened here since my arrival, it's been a vacation compared to home, and it looks like the vacation might come to an end soon. I don't know what's going to happen after that. I can only hope my visit here will have started something that will mean changes for our world, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I shouldn't be such a downer, though. Sorry for bringing it up, but maybe that explains why I don't like talking about it. What's your professional opinion on this? Well, in my professional opinion as a flyer distributor, I'd recommend a generous application of hubs, but that's just me. You look like you need... You look like you need them. I don't think that'll be nice. Sure, fuck it, go for it. He took a step forward, and soon I found myself being enveloped in the furry dragon's embrace. With him pulling me close, it felt like a giant furry blanket was all around me. It tickled my exposed skin. After a few seconds, we parted, and he took a step back again. I hope things can be better for you in the future. I don't think I can do anything to help with that, though. I know. You prefer the little problems. Wow. Time just transitioned really fast there. It's getting dark. I should probably head out and look for a cave, or else I'll have to sleep in the streets. What are you talking about? Well, it seems like the hostels are already full. Despite the vetting process for visitors, enough people got in to take in the available short-term lodging spots this town. Oh, really? Yep, despite only a few people knowing your location, or that the portal portal. Geez, words, la. Journalists and tourists are flocking to the towns, hoping to catch a glimpse, or at least find a clue of your whereabouts. That only leaves me with the option of finding or renting a cave for the night, or sleeping in the streets. Not that I mind sleeping in a cave, but for someone like me, it's usually something of an adventurous weekend rather than a way of life. And rocks don't exactly make for the best bedding. Well, you better get going then, bye, loser! You could sleep here. I don't mind giving him a fucking place to stay for the night. Yeah, there's plenty of room here, and it's kind of my fault you couldn't find another place anyway. I guess that means you don't share the officer's opinion of me, suspicions of me being a spy then? Not really. You know, I could totally take this room apart while you're sleeping. You're not helping your case there. Besides, you won't really find anything special here. Hey, I'd keep an eye on that copy of Draconic Desire you've got on the shelf there. I might be tempted to snatch it while you're not looking. No! Not Draconic Desire! Like I'd mind? You need something for bedtime reading. Feel free to help yourself. Oh, I will. We met with Kevin and learned a lot about city and college life. Congratulations! The student unlocked. Nice. And lo! Finally, we hit Chapter 5. Duty. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. Today's the day of the big fireworks. Who shall I bring? Lorem. After a few minutes of walking, I arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Hey, Lorem. Hey, Draco! You're right. This will be much better than mingling with the crowds. I can do without the extra noise and screaming. Yeah. So, what are we going to do now? Wait. I think it's starting, look! We were quiet as we waited, and the stillness of the night enveloped us. Soon, I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night air, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing throughout the land. Wait a minute. Okay, yes, now I can see that too. I covered up the audio bar by mistake. Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public of an event this was, and how I was told multiple times that everyone would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Reza to do anything he planned to do. Damn it, I keep hitting the wheel! Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of fireworks would have also overshadowed any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever need. Ever have, rather. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Reza to make his getaway, and I was the only one who knew. Lorem, I think we need to go, now. What's going on? I know where Reza is. Really? We need to stop him. We? What do you think I can do? He's twice as big as I am, and let's not forget about his weapon. I can try and hold him off. You go and get help. Alright. Where is he, anyway? The underground building. Let's go! I arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. I couldn't help but be glad that it was still turned off, and it didn't appear to have been used recently, but it meant Reza was still here somewhere. I looked around, thinking about where he could be, or if it was worth waiting for him. Waiting for him here when I saw something in the corner of my eye. Hesitating, I drew nearer. I checked Sebastian for any signs of life and found nothing. However, his body was still warm. Reza was here very recently, but he hadn't used the portal just yet. Why? Sebastian's guard post was not just for the portal itself, but also the surrounding area. Since Reza was already here, he probably had some unfinished business very close by. The underground building. The administrator had told me about the prowess of the generators within. It probably hadn't been hard for Reza to guess the same, or try stealing them from a place he knew would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. He also didn't have far to go from the portal. All things considered, it was the only option that made sense to me. I could have waited for Reza here, but in the end, I decided it would be better to meet him underground. If there was going to be a confrontation, I was sure I would have the advantage in a more crowded space. Even in the darkness, it was easy for me to spot the site where they had unearthed the building's entry, as it was a roped-off area that I had seen from afar before. Alright, now we're going to speed through because we've seen this already. Can I skip this? I can. I'm keeping to stop clicking because eventually we're going to hit where it's new. I mean, I'm sure it's going to eventually, you know, stop. Okay, there's Maverick and Lorem. You planned this, didn't you, Draco? Traitor! And to think I let you distract me with such a cheap trick, just because I thought there was a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out his gun, not sure which one of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go, and I'll forget this ever happened. You've got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you can really do that, Reza? Do you think this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks! What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? I mean, not champagne. I had pizza. Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity! Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. No. They belong to me. Confused, Reza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer, who was slowly walking toward him. And who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. Oh, okay, so this is the female administrator. My first instinct was to run away, but as Maverick and Lorem started charging, so did I. Reza was quick with his aim and shot Maverick until he went down. Lorem took flight with a few beats of their wings, and was able to collide with Reza, but at the last moment, Reza got out of the way and hit Lorem with a well-aimed kick. Well, at least it was only a kick and not a bullet. Lorem could still be alive. In an instant, Reza was aiming at me. I quickly dove behind the box with the generator for cover, just before he pulled the trigger. Click. Oh, there it is. While I was unarmed, a loud hiss suddenly started emanating from the box. I knew what was going to happen and quickly started running toward the exit. Just as I reached the outside, the explosion battered my ears. The shockwave sent me flying briefly before I roughly collided with the ground. Oh, well, Lorem's probably dead. My vision blurred instantly, and all control left my body as I slowly closed my eyes. Oh shit! I awoke to the sight of Reza aiming his gun at me. What the heck did you do to the portal? What are you talking about? I didn't do anything. Why can't I use it then? What happened to the coordinates? The dragons don't know that much about the portal, so it must have been you or that girl. It was the girl, yes. Better give me something or else I have no reason to let you live. You don't even have a fucking bullet, man. It was her. Who is she? I don't know. We must have sent her through after you. The only question is why. You were the one who suddenly vanished. Maybe that's why they sent her. I had my plan, and humanity was fine with it. You must have told them something that changed their minds. I haven't been in contact with them since the day I arrived here. I've got nothing to do with her. I just wanted a diplomatic solution. That was the fucking plan. You weren't supposed to know anything about what I was doing. If humanity knew, why would they send her then? Ah, shit. That's what I've been asking myself. It doesn't make any sense. Because she's not. She was here before either of us, you dongles. I mean, technically I should know that because I've been through the multiple timelines, but I guess I don't. Doesn't really matter anyway. She's the only one who knows how to use the portal again. And now that you've killed her, we're both stuck here. You've got something to do with this, or else you wouldn't be so fucking smug about it. No, I just like seeing you fail. Cheeky motherfucker. Stop denying it! You're going to fix this right now, or I'll find ways to make you talk. Nothing you can do or say will change what's coming now. What's that? Turn around. Reza glanced back over his shoulder just in time to see Maverick running toward him. Turn around, aiming his gun in Maverick's direction. Before he could fire, I grabbed his hand in an attempt to disarm him. But in that scuffle, a shot went off, and I suddenly found myself in a world of pain. I collapsed to the ground, still holding the gun. I still find that so... I mean, I get they don't have, like, a huge budget to do this. I just love the animation of Mary just sort of slamming into Reza there. What are you going to do now, Reza? Not so strong anymore without your weapon, huh? The voices faded as I watched the sky. My vision turned red, making it look as if the stars were bathing in a sea of blood. I resigned to my fate as I closed my eyes. Wow, I got worst end, everybody dead. Well, not everybody, but definitely me. I didn't even get through the portal. Reza was apprehended and taken to jail. As communication between our worlds was no longer possible, humanity never learned of our fate in this timeline. They had decided that if our visit did not yield any results, they would no longer try their luck with the portal, and instead use their remaining energy to hold on as long as they still could. It was an uphill battle that was eventually lost when the city ran out of resources and fell. Reza warned the dragons of the comet and its danger, but without the generators from the underground building, their plan to redirect it ultimately failed. No, yeah, I'm right, this is the everyone died ending. Jeez. Damn. Well, I mean, maybe there's a good Lorem ending, I hope? So I'm gonna have to find the good Lorem ending, the good Anna ending, the good Remy ending, and the good Bryce ending still. But, yeah, wow. Okay, so what are we gonna do next time we run through? I mean, I kind of want to go Anna again. You know, do Anna and maybe I'll do Bryce's ending first. Excuse me. Because, like, if I do... Oh, wait, but if I want Anna's good ending... So... Let me think here, because if I had... I'm thinking if I do Adines all the way through, and get, like, the blueprint right, then I can use that knowledge to do the sneak attack that we did when we did Adines ending. So it would be in our best interest to try and get that, maybe. But again, this is something I'll have to do after I look up how to get all the good endings. You have seen Lorem's bad end. Remember. Alright, there's Kevin. And now I've got 2 bad endings. So yeah, I need to redeem Lorem's good end, Anna's good end, and we've still got a few more dragons we gotta go down. Do I want to just go through all the way with Remy and Bryce and see how that goes for me? Because, like, I don't know the pieces I need for everything. And I'm uncertain what we're gonna do next time. But I'm leading toward doing Bryce and Remy's stuff next, you know? I'm definitely leaning that way. And I mean, I've found all of the pieces that I theoretically would need. Just gotta figure out the order to get everything in, what's important for what endings. If I could get the bloody bandage during Anna's, I think that's what I'm probably gonna need to get her good ending. That's just the thing I'm thinking. Actually, I might not have found everything that's important, because, like, there's that orb thingy that I found just sort of lying around in the park, huh? But this is stuff for me to ponder at a later date. With that, I think we're going to end this episode here. In the next one, we go through Timeline 5 and see what we're doing then. See you guys then.